Welcome to my online channel, The Palm Leaf. This is the 18th video in the data analytics and visualization series. Today we're going to look at a simple text plot. And before we get there, let's just quickly run through what we have in the help function, right? So if you use the geom underscore text syntax, it adds text directly to the plot, right? The moment you use a geom underscore label, what it will do is on the text that you have added to the plot, it will put a small rectangle just around that text so that it is highlighted, making it easier to read. Uh, Now, while that is true, let's get directly into action, right? So all that we are going to do in this video is we're just going to look at this single line of code, and then we are going to make some subtle changes to this, right? So let me just run it for you first. For those of you who are new to RStudio and have opened up this video before looking at other videos, I would like you to just go and install ggplot2 and call the ggplot library before putting in this code, right? And what we're doing is fairly simple. Let me first zoom and then show you what we are trying to do here, and then let's look at the code. What do you see? You on the x-axis you see the numerical variable called as displacements. On the y-axis you have got the highway miles per gallon. So between two numerical variables you will see a plot, and on the plot you don't see any points. The only thing that you see is the year of manufacture, right? So how do you come across this? Like, how do you put this plot together? uh, Thankfully we don't really need too much to put this plot, but we can just customize what we have already done in previous videos. The only addition is we are going to use the geom text function, right? So I hope you can see this, right? All the text that is on the grid is the number of year of launch, right? Now let's look at the code. It's a fairly simple code, and what we're trying to do is the basic ggplot syntax. We are using the MPG dataset like we have been using in the previous videos. It's a fairly, and just to have a quick recap, it's different types of car manufacturers and their different type of attributes like mileage and year of launch and number of cylinders and so on and so forth. We are going to use the geom jitter function. A geom point function will work equally well. I'm just trying to use jitter so that there are no overlaps, right? So this is essentially a point plot. But what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to hide those points. How? By giving it a color equal to ivory. So this is as good as the white color, right? So the moment I do this, it automatically hides the points. So let me just show you by giving it maybe some other color. Let's say I give it a green color, right? Now you can actually see the plot. All the green colors that you see are actual plots. So I'm just trying to hide those plots so that only the labels are visible, right? So that's the reason why I'm putting in ivory. The moment I put ivory, it's like a cream color, so it gets hidden behind the plot, and it is slightly easy to make out also. For example, you see that the grid, most of the grid lines, they are breaking at some points, right? If you see this part, right, there's a small break, but it doesn't stand out very clearly, and people usually don't really look at it that way. So they just look at the holistic plot and they see that there are no dots and it's just the text, right? So that's the visual representation. So after I use the geom jitter function, I use the geom text label, right? The geom text function. So what do I do inside that geom text? I'm just giving a label here. So if you look at the MPG dataset, I've got a column which is the year of launch, right? So I just want all the dots to be replaced or to be pointed out with the year of the launch. So that's what your geom text does. The moment I do a label is equal to, and this is the way in which you have to call out the column of a particular data set. You write the data set and then you put a dollar sign, and then automatically it will automatically pick up the column, right? So you can write this, and a check overlap is equal to t is a standard function. You can determine what size it is, and then you can give it a color. right? So the moment you do this, and here I'm using a theme underscore BW so that I don't get too much background. The moment you run this, you'll get this plot. Now let's try and see if we can make some subtle changes to this, right? So let me replace year with CYL, which is a number of cylinders that a particular car has. And instead of giving everything a red color, let me just let me just um, let me just divide or bifurcate the color based on the cylinder column itself. Right. The moment I do that, what do I get? The year gets replaced by the cylinders, which is my geom underscore text. And when I write the label syntax, when I write the label argument, yeah, that gets taken care of. And you see that there are four different types of colors. One is a blue, one is turquoise, one is pink, and one is maybe a variant of a gray color, right? So the colors also get divided or segregated by the column, the cylinder column, right? So I hope this was useful. Thank you for watching. I mean, you can play around with geom text, and maybe you can even write geom label just to see a rectangular rectangular a rectangle made around those labels. But I prefer all labels to be without any borders. So I prefer it. I prefer it without borders. So I don't generally don't use the geom underscore label. I mean, you can try around with various different types of colors. You can see if you can increase the size and see how it comes through. Please let me know if you find any interesting combinations. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video.